And this is the Moto Guzzi V85. Take one because there was the first one. Hi, this is Andrej, and Mariusz has a fridge. Why? What's that sound?
A fridge freezer.
Harley Davidson.
Yes. For alcohol. For drinks.
And do you have cassettes in there?
Yes, I have the tapes.
Cool. Okay, let's go where we need to go. Imagine that for half an hour I've been filming a vlog about the Moto Guzzi V85TT that I'm currently riding. So what? And of course I forgot to press record on the sound recorder. Ho ho ho, Mr. Andrej! Well, they call it life. We're somewhere near the historic city of Warsaw. I am currently feeding my insatiable curiosity and also nurturing my exciting new idea, which is that I will enthusiastically try to ride motorcycles and intentionally get wonderfully lost on these motorcycles. We are presently in some charming town, next to which the beautiful and meandering Bug River gracefully flows. It's very nice here. We're making use of the Harley while we're at it, because I'll also make a separate vlog about the Harley since it's a pretty unusual new Harley that has CarPlay and we're using its navigation. Besides, I haven't seen Smoke in a long time, so we decided to go for a ride on our bikes together. So, what can I say? I can say that I'm looking for a place to properly start this video again, but let's just say it's already started. Moto Guzzi V85TT, the Italians' assault on the ADV class, probably the funniest one in modern history. Because Moto Guzzi with the transverse V-twin, Moto Guzzi for adventurers, Moto Guzzi for adventure riders at all. An incredible move, incredibly bold, and damn, you know what? Surprisingly effective. Because, well, maybe not in Poland, since this motorcycle we don't have that many people here who are looking for it. You know, we're at a stage where we need to feed ourselves with these modern motorcycles with super performance and all that. Ooh, what's going on here? Oh, this is gonna be fun, straight ahead. Huh? Oh, now Harley is going to ride like on Texan gravel roads. We pose. We still need to enjoy ourselves a bit more. The old guys got traction control. We still need to enjoy these motorcycles that have spectacular power, incredible performance, semi-active suspension, because, you know, it's all so new only now, maybe not most, but more and more people can afford these wonders. And that's great. But abroad, in many countries like Italy, Germany, the UK, and so on and so forth, it's nice here, Mariusz. Are we just pointlessly riding down this gravel road?
Nothing stopping us.
Well, I would say that it is just like in our everyday lives, you know?
Then let's go.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, charming place. Nothing else awaits us in life, because we already have everything we need. Oh, Mariusz, turning on the traction control system, that's very responsible of you. And here in Italy, or perhaps Germany now, that was quite a jolt. Rocks! And in similar places, people are looking for something different now. Not just chasing performance, but something stylish. That's why customs are becoming so popular, as Smoku regularly writes about. And I think that the Moto Guzzi V85TT is coming at just the perfect time, because it's a motorcycle that will appeal both to pure people who ride customs and need a stylish bike but want to travel farther and more comfortably. And on the other hand, it will also attract adventure and touring fans who are looking for something new and unusual. It's just brilliant. From the very beginning, when we first saw this motorcycle, we said, what an absurdity! But then we found ourselves getting more and more excited to finally ride it. Smoko had the chance to ride it during the press test rides, but unfortunately I had to wait over a year, simply because there just wasn't a physical opportunity to take this motorcycle for a test. I've been riding it for a few days now, and I have to tell you, I'm absolutely thrilled. So much so that I ride motorcycles, you know, pretty much all of them. And since I train quite intensively on the track doing stunts and similar things, I always get on these bikes and push them to the limit. most often I'm the one who goes out to test sport bikes and similar stuff, and there it's just full throttle, full throttle, full throttle. But you should know that later when I ride around the city on a daily basis, I actually ride calmly because I've already let off steam and all that. And that's when I prefer to ride cool motorcycles. Because why would I need performance if I'm riding calmly? And I look for those cool motorcycles, and those are the ones I most like to hop on. And the Moto Guzzi V85 is exactly that kind of motorcycle. It sits in the garage, and I just feel like getting on and taking it for a ride, because just look at how wonderful it is right now. I'm riding slowly through some village. There's something flowing here, some river. Luckily there's still water. Well, there's not much, but it's still there, and it's wonderful. A few dry facts about the Moto Guzzi V85. First of all, the engine capacity, which I don't actually know. I think it's 1,000 cubic centimeters, but honestly I really don't care. I'll write it somewhere here. I forgot to ask Smoke or check what the actual capacity is, but I think it's 1,000 if I remember correctly. What matters is that there are only 80 horsepower and 80 newton meters here. That's quite a lot of newton meters, because it's a pretty big V-twin, air-cooled, so it's rather low revving. Here you can see the red line is at about 7,500 RPM. And this motorcycle is charming, because it aspires to compete with the strongest in its class, you know. But at the same time it says, why do I need all that power? That's not what I'll be competing with, so we're not even going to try to push this engine hard at all. And that's what's charming about it, because we ride it calmly, and the engine has this clang, this characteristic sound, the kind I used to hate in most Moto Guzzis I've ridden so far, because those were some nakeds, some custom bikes, from which I expected at least some kind of riding pleasure. They were even rougher, and this one still has that Guzzi vibe, but at the same time it's smoothed out, so it's easy to handle. It's such a nice combination that when you ride this motorcycle, it's like, oh, what does it remind me of? It's kind of like a Harley Davidson, where the engine is raw, has character, but at the same time it's already easy to handle. You no longer have to be a master at working the clutch halfway. It won't stall in any way anymore. It won't jerk. You just hear these different sounds. And that's actually from the gearbox, which you can tell is kind of rough. When you're riding slowly, you hear this clink clink as the gears engage. Once you pick up speed, it runs smoothly. All you have to do is ease off the throttle or even blip the throttle, and the gears shift in even without the clutch stroke. That's really cool. It's nice that we're just riding along, not really knowing where we're going, but something is waiting for us here. So this roughness is actually very pleasant. And what's charming is that when I was riding it, at one point we had to merge into traffic in the jam. I was in 4th gear, had about 3,000 RPM, and when I gave it some gas to speed up, it just made a sound, roared, but didn't really go anywhere. So this engine, let me just say, it's a pretty big V-twin. For it to really go, you have to rev it up. And I'll tell you, once you get past 4,500 RPM, it actually starts to move. Well, if you're set on riding calmly and comfortably, your expectations drop. And when this motorcycle starts to accelerate, it's like, oh, that's nice, let it be like that. This motorcycle can even reach up to 200 kilometers per hour at maximum. And what's nice, or rather again charming, is that it goes and it hits 200 kilometers per hour practically at around 7,500 RPM. It basically reaches the limiter in 6th gear. You're riding well. It's better over there. Where do you want to go? I want to go there. Harley has actually adapted such a mode. And you know, it just gives everything it's got and goes, so, you know, at the limiter it hits those 200. It's not like we just have a 6th gear that's an overdrive and it can't rev up to maximum RPM. At the same time, at a cruising speed of 120, 130, the revs are lazy compared to the competition. And honestly, riding this motorcycle is very, very, very pleasant. And the wind protection is decent. But you know how it is with every stock motorcycle, it's decent. These windshields aren't particularly large as standard, but it's really nice and pleasant. Off-road capabilities, or you see, because now we're hitting some bumps, you can see that this motorcycle will handle any terrain that's suitable for it. Like this kind of path, or riding down to a little riverbank, basically, as long as it's within reason. Its high ground clearance its adventure character comes from the fact that it's simply taller, so you won't scrape or immediately smash the oil pan when riding over these kinds of paths and trails. And right here, our path and neutral trail have just come to an end, unless it hasn't. So with this capable motorcycle, we can easily and comfortably go somewhere quite far away. As for navigating corners, well, it's genuinely hard to find any truly special or particularly twisty sections here in Mazowiecka. It's a bit strange, but predictable strange, because, you know, the engine is mounted transversely, which makes this motorcycle handle differently than the machines we're used to, the ones with more traditional engine layouts like V-types or inline engines. It's kind of somewhere between a V-twin and the BMW Boxer. So it's really about the motorcycle's balance. You really have to take it for a ride to feel it, because it's hard to describe in words. It just feels a bit different under you, but it actually turns very nicely and willingly. And on the corners I managed to find here, there was absolutely no problem with stability. The suspension, by the way, is clearly set up more for riding through twisties, because you'll definitely see a lot of these Moto Guzzis on the Stelvio Pass. And, you know, over there's this big rivalry among touring motorcycles who's going to be scraping their panniers through those corners the fastest. So the Italians definitely had that in mind. And you can feel it under you. The suspension is tuned quite stiffly, but it also handles short bumps very decently. Because at first I looked at the suspension and thought, well, it seems kind of basic. There's nothing fancy here. But you see, there's an adjustment here. So this fork probably controls the ride height, and this one handles the damping. Simple, average, but still offering some degree of adjustability. And what's important to me is that even when the Italians make a relatively simple suspension, they know how to set it up well. Because, honestly, those guys have a lot of experience with this. What I really like is that it says made in Mandello del Lario here. Not in Italy, in Mandello del Lario. Moto Guzzi is a proud brand. There are still people working there. After all, it's one of the oldest motorcycle brands, and there are still people working there for whom Moto Guzzi means everything. And that's cool. That's so Italian. Come on, Mariusz, but let's sum up this motorcycle. Would you rather have this motorcycle or go fishing?
I'd rather ride this motorcycle to go fishing. Honestly, Andrzej, I have no idea, you know? But I do go fishing.
I don't know. But now I know. I'm really impressed with this motorcycle, Mariusz.
I was impressed with it after the tests.
I'm impressed that it costs so little that if someone wants to buy a new motorcycle, they can, because it costs 50 grand. And this isn't an advertisement. I really think it's a great deal for a touring motorcycle. It just has to be the yellow and white version.
Yellow, white and red, yeah.
It's awesome.
That one cost about 50.
One, and this one costs, I think, 49 or 40 something, you could say. Incredible. You have a motorcycle that no one else has. The only question is, will you have the courage?
Exactly. That's always the thing with these retro-styled motorcycles. But it's cool that this motorcycle is exactly as much as it costs. There's nothing
Yes.
more than what a rider like me actually needs. For exactly the kind of terrain we rode on, that's more than enough for me.
It handles all terrain,
It handles all my terrain.
but I don't know if I'd ride it every day, because it's also comfortable and kind of funny to ride in the city, since with that shaft and everything, it's like clink, clink, and I feel like I'm riding some kind of machine.
And actually in this class, it's the only motorcycle with a cardan shaft.
Yeah? Oh, I just wanted to say that Smoko knows more about this motorcycle than I do. And I've already learned that it was supposed to save Moto Guzzi, and since it was supposed to save them a year ago and Moto Guzzi is still around, maybe it actually did save them. What do you think?
In my opinion, definitely. Because in the first stage they introduced it and couldn't keep up with the demand.
Exactly. I'm surprised. I mean, I already explained this earlier, that this motorcycle is selling like crazy everywhere. Just not yet in Poland. Because here in Poland we are starved for motorcycles with fairings. Look at that. Even look how easily the seat went on. When was the last time you put a seat on that easily?
Never.
Well, it's on now. This motorcycle just wants to cooperate.
No. Because here it's like we're very stereotypical.
Yeah.
In many aspects. And with motorcycles it's the same. If someone says a certain motorcycle is an adventure bike, then everyone wants their bikes to be just like that, and customers want to have them, but then they only use a fraction of their capabilities. It's pointless.
Yeah, and what's the most important thing, TT? How do you say it, Tuto?
Tutto terreno, something like that.
Tutto terreno, which means different terrains, probably further.
The suspension travel isn't very high. Of course, Tobias would immediately say that this motorcycle isn't suitable for off-road, but you can find videos on YouTube. I think it was the Italians who tested it, doing some pretty solid jumps.
You can do a jump on anything, really. But the thing is, I recently had some adventures on adventure motorcycles, because those adventure bikes encourage you so much to go on adventures that the adventure ends up being ultimate.
Intense.
So it was a bit funny, a bit scary, a bit funny, and a bit wet. And here, why would I need that? For me, the adventure is just that we crossed over some little river, and it's nice by that river. And for me, that's enough of an adventure, because I'm already an old guy, and it's great. Let's go home and eat zapikanki.
I don't eat zapikanki.